How you doing, Mayor Brown?
We're connected. A little bit of a delay today. We're watching the Premier's press conference.
Yep. So I gotta ask. So Peel is in stage red in the tiered system. What does this mean?
So I'm being told it means that there's 10 people are allowed in a restaurant, 10 people allowed in a gym, indoors. Outside classes can have more. So it's a new classification the province has come up with. Mayor Crombie and myself had argued that we didn't want our restaurants shut down because there hadn't been a single case of COVID-19 transmission in an indoor dining setting. And frankly, we felt we should be more surgical and shut down the areas that are contributing to spread. Get the resources to help where there are challenges. An example of that is, we need an isolation center. Toronto has one funded by the federal government for people that can't afford to isolate from their families, people in precarious employment, essential workers. And that's still pending. So rather than a general rule that could hamper local businesses who aren't contributing to the problem, let's be a little more surgical, a little more specific. And so that was really part of the balancing act that I think the province was trying to arrive at. And so today is a hybrid solution. It's allowing a smaller capacity in restaurants for the next week, and then see where the numbers are.
Yeah, I guess I talked to a lot of restaurants, and they were excited to open this week. Why do you think this happened on Friday when I think restaurants have probably already bought inventory and stuff like that? Couldn't this have happened earlier on in the week so they could have planned for this?
Yeah, no, I was looking forward to seeing our restaurants get back open. This is a decision of Dr. Williams at a provincial level, and he felt this modification was necessary. I have to point out Dr. Bonnie in British Columbia. She's been pretty clear, and BC's doing great, by the way. Like, BC's numbers are comparatively very good. And she said that she believes restaurants are a safer place for people to be. She was saying that too often you have social gatherings and mixing of households. It happens in people's homes where they don't have the safety precautions. And it's why she was arguing for people to actually use restaurants as a safe environment. And so, I retweeted her comments earlier today because I thought they had a lot of merit.
I guess, do you agree with this call?
So I would have preferred that restaurants were open completely. They're not part of the spread, and I think it should be data driven. But at least they're not closed completely. And so the province has sort of landed on a middle ground.
Yesterday, I had quite a few people talking about the budget. I had Andrea, Stephen Del Duca, and one thing that shocked them was that there was no line item for the hospital in Brampton. What are your thoughts on this?
So the province has promised us we're going to get that hospital. We're looking to get shovels in the ground in 2021. And so, in terms of what budget they put it in, whether it's next year's budget or whether it's part of the infrastructure budget, sometimes provincial budgets aren't as specific as itemizing each infrastructure project, but they do have a healthy health budget, a healthy infrastructure budget, and I could see the Brampton funds coming out of that. Would I have preferred that it would be outlined specifically? Sure, that level of assurance would have been welcoming, but I'm still taking the Premier and the Health Minister at their word that they're going to get this hospital built.
What are your thoughts on this new color-coded COVID-19 tiered system?
Well, we're just starting with it, so I think it's to be determined, but at least it gives more clarity into what the benchmarks are.
Okay. And I guess, sorry, we touched on the restaurants on the red alert system. What does this mean for gyms? So I know that they had to be 3 meters apart on the yellow, so I'm just wondering what it has to be in red. Do you have?
So what it is 10 people for classes or exercise equipment.
Okay. So 10 people for the entire gym, then? Is that what it is? Oh, okay. So Dr. Lawrence Lowe this week recommended that he ban home gatherings or really limit them. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think the closure of restaurants has created more home gatherings, more social gatherings. And of course, we don't want to have social gatherings, but it goes back to why I thought that the closure of restaurants 2 weeks ago contributed to the spike in cases.
I know Mississauga had a few Halloween parties this weekend. How did Brampton do as far as Halloween parties and tickets go over the weekend?
But we didn't get any complaints about Halloween parties. I think folks got the message, and I was relieved. It would be entirely inappropriate to have a big party right now during a pandemic. It would hurt our efforts to get this under control, and so fortunately we didn't have that incident. But we're not out of the woods yet. We've got Remembrance Day coming up very shortly, and we can't have the traditional gatherings that we like to have to honor our heroes and veterans and those who have fallen on behalf of our country. On behalf of freedom and democracy. And so there were a number of gatherings that were planned for Remembrance Day. Those have had to be turned into virtual celebrations. And of course, we have Diwali coming up, which is normally a huge event in Brampton and throughout Peel region. And so, we were trying to communicate that we saw a Thanksgiving spike, we saw a Labor Day spike. I don't want to see a Diwali spike in cases because of the intermixing of households.
And I guess now more than ever, support local restaurants that you've tried out this week or takeout.
So we've been using a lot of restaurants. We haven't cooked much at home. We had the Queen Gypsy one night this week. Great downtown Brampton restaurant. I had Vesuvio's once this week. And given the fact I've got an Italian wife and I have some of my Italian heritage on my side too through my mother, we had Antica, which is one of our favorite Italian restaurants in Brampton.
Nice. Well, Mayor Brown, I have a feeling you're going to have a busy afternoon, so I'll let you go. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for your patience.
Okay, no worries. Take care. Have a good weekend.